Alright, so today we have a pretty massive 7-star opening. We have a 7-star basic crystal and also a 7-star loyalty crystal. So yeah, some pretty important stuff there, but also we have this Paragon Gauntlet challenge. And this challenge is a bit different, right? Because with romance and its complicated characters, you get a bonus 100 T2 primordial dust, which is massive, right? That is half an ascension for a 6-star character. So yeah, I think that the new direction with this Paragon Gauntlet challenge is really nice, and it's good to take advantage of for sure. But yeah, my romance team is a rank 3 Angela, a rank 4 She-Hulk, and my maxed out ascended 6-star Namor. So if you want to see just Namor's fights, I put the timestamps in the beginning because, yeah, I get that he is the attraction here, right? He is the maxed out ascended character that I just did. So yeah, if you want to see just his gameplay, skip to those times, and after that it is just a massive opening and gameplay of my new pools. So yeah, this Angela fight though, going very well. The prowess buffs let us gain our, debuff immunity pretty fast, so there is that. Angela with buffs that aren't hers, she just works really well with them. But yeah, this matchup is essentially over. The prowess just helps us big time here, and that SP2 is pretty devastating. So there is one boss down, and now it's time for the first Namor fight. We have this Sandman boss, and this Sandman was honestly pretty painful when I first fought him, but he has Gimme Shelter, but the hard version, because you need 6 buffs to counter his auto block, and most champions just straight up do not have 6 buffs, right? Even the cosmic characters. So yeah, it is definitely really annoying with Sandman here, but Namor just doesn't care. You're gonna see that this damage output that we do is honestly just wild, and you're gonna see that Namor versus Sandman is a really good matchup. And for the most part, any bleed immune champion is Namor's best matchup because the ramp up is just really fast, and he is just perfect for these type of health pools too. But yeah, we're almost ready for the big rotation, so I drop the SP3 and then I'll do it again. And then once that happens, the matchup is essentially over, right? So yeah, I go for a parry again, and then I drop the second SP3, and at this point, we're going to do a lot of damage to Sandman here. So no crits, but then a massive 197,000 crit to end it. That is just crazy stuff, right? That is so good. But now we have the She-Hulk fight. This is just a King Groot, and this King Groot's kind of annoying because he does have this node where you only gain power by charging heavy attacks, but then there's also Conflictor and Beat the Buzzer. So I think the best approach for this matchup is to just not try to gain any power and just try to play it the natural way, which is just hitting him, right? And She-Hulk is perfect for that because she gains damage without having to use special attacks, and she just passively gains attack rating over time. So I think she is one of the better options for this matchup, for this challenge. And yeah, she does a very good job here of just maintaining her Furies. And Conflictor is also very good for She-Hulk because it gives them more power, they use more special attacks, and she just gets more refreshes, right? But I'll just let this one play out because it's a pretty straightforward fight, and it's just She-Hulk gaining attack rating over time and nothing else besides that, really. So I'll see you at the next fight. Now, She-Hulk just did great there, right? But now we have this Ultron boss, and this Ultron is not easy in the slightest. He has Delirium, he has Extinction Protocol, which are both just very annoying nodes. But also, Extinction Protocol is kind of good for She-Hulk because that means more power gain for him, which means more special attacks, which means we get easier Fury refreshes. So She-Hulk is honestly like pretty good for these high power gain matchups, and it just lets her do like really good damage output, and it lets her maintain it with ease. So yeah, She-Hulk for these matchups, honestly one of the better options for sure, and like a rank 4 She-Hulk is just doing really good stuff right now. But yeah, this matchup, like I said, is pretty straightforward. It's just a natural, normal She-Hulk matchup that's honestly easier because we get the bonus, power gain from Ultron. So yeah, this matchup is honestly a pretty fun one. It can be annoying at times because of the reverse controls, but like once you work around that, it's honestly not too bad. And yeah, overall just really surprising stuff by She-Hulk. I think she's been like the MVP so far, but once we get to the dust fight, you're going to see that Namor is going to really just be the MVP of this whole entire run. But yeah, Ultron almost down, a nice 14,000 medium there, another one right there, and that just does it. So yeah, overall, very good fight by She-Hulk. But now we have this Dust boss, and Dust is super annoying to deal with these nodes because they gave her more glancing, and that means more sand debuffs, and that means more sandstorms, so it is just really annoying. But how does Namor counter Dust? Well, Namor ramps really fast against bleed immune characters, and Dust is bleed immune, so there is that. Additionally, we can just reflect the sandstorm damage that we take, so he's definitely one of the better counters. Like, this champion is honestly really annoying on defense, but Namor can handle her pretty well. Of course, there's still some block damage. The sandstorm, you still take some damage from it, but for the most part, he is a very good counter. And without these like really jacked up nodes, I think he'll do pretty dang good against her. And yeah, like Namor, of course, can just take so many different matchups because he just has that raw damage output, right? And sometimes that's all you need for a champion. But yeah, Namor is doing pretty good here so far. The sandstorm damage has been noticeable, but we are still just doing pretty decent here for the most part. Here I dropped the SP3, and it is now time for our massive damage cycle. So we drop the SP2, we get a nice 119,000 crit, we go back in, she glances, doesn't matter, I drop a combo into the relic, and yeah, this matchup is over. So that was a really fun matchup. Namor just did that really well. That nice crit there was honestly pretty lucky, but yeah, Dust, pretty good Namor fight. There are better Namor fights for sure, but Dust is at least doable, right? But now we have this Ironheart boss, and this one is honestly like pretty annoying because she has Galvanize, and Galvanize for like most champions is annoying, but for Ironheart especially, it is super annoying because of her special attacks. They are pretty much really hard to dodge. The SP2 isn't that bad, but like the SP1 especially is just really annoying to dodge. So yeah, when she's like in that unblockable mode, good luck with that because yeah, it is just not a fun time at all. But Ironheart for the most part, besides like the nodes on this fight, she isn't that good of a defender. She doesn't have like too much going on for her, but yeah, with like these nodes, it's kind of annoying, right? So I'll just let this one play out, and I'll see you at the end of the gauntlet. So yeah, there we just took too much damage. Angela, valiant effort, was really good for that Ronin fight, but now it's She-Hulk time, and she just does the job really well here. Yeah, but that galvanized node is just super annoying, so I can't blame Angela for, like, you know, not surviving. It is a very, very painful combo with this champion, but She-Hulk does pretty good here. Like, nothing to it really. It's just try to hope that she doesn't throw that SP1 while unblockable. But here I drop my own SP1 and it does some damage, right? Nothing too crazy because of the Fury buildup, but yeah, now she's at 2 bars of power and the SP2 is a lot easier to deck, so I'm gonna try that out and it goes decently well. Just kidding, I missed a deck, so that is hilarious, but hey, she's almost down, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's also just pretty silly, right? But this matchup is almost over. We dropped the SP1, and that actually does it, I believe. So not too bad at all. A very fun challenge for sure. It was no revive, so I'll take it. And we get that nice 100 T2 dust, and we also get these nice 7-star shards as well. Perfect stuff. I'm excited for this opening. I really want some like really good dupes or just some really good new champions, but let's see what I get in these crystals. But first things first, we have to claim the dust, which is right there. 100 T2 dust. Really good stuff there, and I hope that like it continues for like the future months, right? But now we have these T6 crystals, and I'll be completely honest, one of the main reasons I explore the Paragon Gauntlet is for these crystals. I think these are still super valuable, and if they give you something good, it is a massive bump in your T6 inventory, but that's not what I wanted, which is unfortunate. It's fine though. What I want to see is either skill, science, or mutant. Mutant for dust, science for titania, skill for maybe like a core rank up, and we're gonna land on skill, so that is perfect. I will take that. 25% goes a long way, so yeah, this was just worth it 1000%, but not too bad overall. Now we have a 6-star Nexus crystal, and this gives us some more 7-star shards, even more because of the Max Sig crystal, which is perfect. And yeah, not too shabby in the slightest, right? 6-star crystals for me are just 7-star shards now, which is kind of crazy to think about, but it's just how it is now. But now we have the 7-star crystal, and here are my top wants: a Kindred dupe, an Atuma dupe, a Hyperion dupe as well, and I also want a Korg dupe and a new Ebony Moss. So I have a few options here for sure, but any new champion I'll take 1000%, and hopefully it's just someone that's fun. If it's like a fun dupe, I'll take that for sure, but just something that I can use at least. But here's the crystal, there is Strife, there is Null as well, there is Kindred, please come back, and we're gonna land on a 7-star version of the Overseer Maestro. Now this is such a good awakening, but Kindred was right there, he was one spot away, and yeah, this dupe is amazing, right? Because I will stand by this. I think the Overseer Maestro does need to be awakened to be like really, really good. So yeah, that is just like a really good pool, right? But now we have the 7-star loyalty crystal, and I can barely afford this, right? And my alliance said that you shouldn't buy it if you can only afford it, like just barely. But then again, I am a whale, so I can just, you know, use units on the potions and the boost, so it's fine. Don't get mad at me, Alliance, please do not, because I can just use units, right? I did this for fun. So yeah, it is now 7-star loyalty crystal time. I really want to see Howard the Duck and Mordo. I also wouldn't mind a new Storm and a new Arcus, and a Void dupe is fine, and a Black Cat dupe I just don't want to see at all. So anything but Black Cat is a win for me. Black Cat, great champion, but I think her signature ability just isn't all that, so yeah, I'm not too fussed about that. I just want to see a new champion to have fun with. Like, new champions are my favorite things to play around with. Dupes are pretty cool sometimes, like the Overseer one for example, but right now I want something new. But the crystal stops, there is Vision Arcus, there is Black Cat, please go away, and we land on a 7-star version of Vision Arcus. Now this one I have some history with, because I used to be this guy's biggest fan. I used to be like his biggest supporter, and this is just like me reuniting with him, and it honestly just feels really good. So I'll take this 1000%. Like, it wasn't Howard the Duck, but it's still someone new and someone fun. So this is honestly very exciting for me. And yeah, he is getting leveled up ASAP. So level 25, and he'd make for a great rank 2 7-star as well because of his defensive value. So there is that to think about too, but just not right now at least. And here's Overseer Maestro. He was level 1 because he was unduped, right? And like I said, I think he needs the dupe to be like really, really good. So he was just not leveled at all to save some ISO. But now that he's awakened, he is just worth leveling 1000%. So yeah, fun times ahead here. And for a quick gameplay showcase, we have this Dr. Doom in the Gauntlet. And Dr. Doom is honestly one of Overseer's best matchups because since Overseer's Nullify immune, with the Aura of Hazareth, whenever he tries to nullify us and it fails, we get some bonus gamma power. And that means a faster ramp up, right? So it's just a very nice time. And yeah, this matchup is pretty straightforward. Just gotta keep on trying to get like nullified because we just get immune to it. And we get some bonus gamma power for a faster ramp up. But like if he was unawakened, he wouldn't gain any extra gamma power. It'd just be like a pretty slow ramp up over time. So that's why I think that having him duped is just so good. But yeah, like even unawakened, he's still pretty dang good as a damage dealer. But when he's duped, it is a massive difference when it comes to ramp up time. So yeah, I think that he is just a really solid character still, especially as a 7-star champion with like the stat focus and the extra power level at rank 2. But yeah, here we drop the SP3 and this gives us our cosmic mode, which is perfect because of, you know, how much damage it does, right? And yeah, 10,000 on that physical burst damage. You love to see it. And yeah, this is the Overseer Maestro that is just, you know, really powerful. Now, it took a bit to get to this like level of damage output, but in like Battlegrounds, in matchups where like there is a more consistent nullify or like poison, he just ramps even faster, right? So yeah, this guy is just doing great stuff right now. I think he is such a cool character as well. Like he is the Overseer, he is Maestro, who is a playable final boss now, but before this he wasn't, and this was like our only Maestro at the time. So yeah, Overseer's always been such a cool character, and I think he is still super cool despite, you know, the actual Maestro being out right now. But then again, the actual Maestro's like just defense, right? Or is he? You know, there's some concern there, right? But I think he's a pretty good dual threat character. But yeah, Overseer Maestro is just crushing this fight. And by the way, if you want to see some rank 3 gameplay, Mcoc, great channel, great guy, and he has some pretty good rank 3 Overseer Maestro gameplay. So yeah, check that out if you want to see it. But at rank 1, he is still crushing it big time. But here's my last combo, and that just does it. So not too shabby in the slightest, just one of the best options for that matchup. But now we have this Vision Arcus fight, and this is Gauntlet Vision, so it is a mirror match essentially. But remember that Vision Arcus is the first of his name, which is honestly surprising, right? Because, you know, before I downloaded this game, I never heard of Vision Arcus before, but he is honestly like a really cool character. Like being from Smoke World, having Cold Snap and like just Frozen Air as well, it is just really cool stuff, like literally. But also he shuts down robots, and Vision Original is a robot. So yeah, this is just a really good matchup for him. There I get hit, but it's no big deal. He's still power locked. He still just cannot do anything at all. So, but yeah, it's still fine. And here I drop an SP3, and like people forget that Vision Arcus is a really good damage dealer. Like his damage output with the armor breaks up and the fury buff up is really impressive. So yeah, I think Vision Arcus, he deserves his flowers, right? He is such an underrated champion, and he like shuts off robots, he shuts off like most tech characters as well with the synergy, and he just has some pretty good evade countering and some good armor break, and he just does pretty much what you want for a cosmic champion. He has buffs as well, so there is that too. It is honestly just a nice kit for sure, and I think he just is pretty dang underrated. So here I drop another SP3, and it does some pretty good damage output, but the mediums afterwards are just really nice. That was a 17,000 medium right there, not too shabby in the slightest for sure. And by the way, this is not like his max ramp either. This is just like a halfway ramped Vision Arcus, but he still is doing some very, very good numbers. But I drop another SP3 here, and yeah, the power gain at this point is just wild too. So this matchup is pretty much over now. I go for the combo into the heavy attack, and yeah, that just does it. And that was just a really clean fight. And of course, Vision Arcus is just a really fun champion, really underrated too. And Overseer Maestro is just like a powerhouse in the science class. And with that dupe, he just becomes a lot better overall. So I think this opening was a massive success. Let me know your thoughts on it, and yeah, that's about it for me.